Day. And to start it all off, we're going to have Nancy Davis welcome us.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Okay, it is my birthday. I'm getting really old, but what can I say? Thank you. I'm so embarrassed, but anyway, what a great way to celebrate a birthday, another year of life, and it's 20 years in the life of our event and having the Race to Race MS. So when I woke up today on my birthday, I guess I thought, we have really come a long way. Last night we had our big event, and there was this moment, and I was sitting next to my friend Lynn Palmer, who's somewhere here, and she's been there with me since we started this event. It was pretty interesting to see that there's Sharon Osbourne and Jack. There's Elton John up there singing. There's 9 drugs on the market for MS. People are doing really well. So you know what? This is what celebrations are about. We're getting there. We're not there. I know there's lots of people who have such a variety of different ailments with MS. The good news is when we started this, and we have done this panel every year. We started in Aspen 20 years ago. When we'd have this particular meeting, there was a lot of promise, a lot of hope, a lot of questions of things that might possibly get FDA approval, different therapies. We didn't know what we were doing. We had no clue. This group of doctors is the most brilliant team of doctors from the best, most prestigious hospitals in our country. They have put down the traditional barriers that exist in research, come together, and worked as a team. A team is so important. When I was diagnosed, it was amazing when I went from center to center in the denial I was going through, and I found that most of these great centers were doing identical research but not really communicating. To me, the thing I thought that we could do to speed this process along was to have the best and the brightest to communicate. And today, they have taken that tenfold. They communicate. The studies are so outside of the box. They're doing such brilliant things, and we're really getting there. There's so much money now being spent by every drug company because they're really excited, and they're really excited because they want to be on the bandwagon of something that's going to find this miracle, and we're all part of this miracle and the miracle cure and the miracle treatments. And thank you, everybody, for being here. A lot of people came up to me, and I'm so impressed with how people flew in from all over the place to be here today. What an honor to have you all here. Thank you so much. That's all I'm going to say, because these are who you want to hear from. They know what they're talking about. They're the brilliant doctors. So thank you, everybody.
And just quickly, I'm going to have all of the doctors introduce themselves, and then we're going to go to Dr. Kaplan to talk about our first topic. We'll start with you to introduce yourself.
So
Just who you are.
My name's Adam Kaplan. I'm the psychiatric consultant to the MS Center at Johns Hopkins.
Good morning, I'm Peter Calabrese. I run the MS Center at Johns Hopkins.
I'm Howard Weiner. I direct the Partners MS Center at Harvard and the Brigham and Women's Hospital.
I'm Leslie Weiner from USC.
I'm Rohit Bakshi at the Partners MS Center in Boston, and I work on MS and neuroimaging, MRI techniques.
I'm Vijayashree Yadav, and I work as the clinical director of OHSU MS Center in Portland, Oregon. And my clinical research interests are looking into complementary therapies of MS.
My name is Dr. Daniel Pelletier. I'm at Yale University. I'm the chief of the MS division.
I'm Dr. Emmanuel Vauban. I work at UCSF MS Center. And I'm the medical director for all these guys.
She keeps them in
And of course,
shape.
we skipped Jack Osbourne, not Dr. Jack Osbourne, but Jack. Jack is with us, and I'm Claudia Curry-Hill, and I'm the moderator of the panel, and I also have MS. Okay, Dr. Kaplan, he's going to talk to us about depression, which is something that may affect some of you.
Right, so I have to talk to you about depression without getting you depressed in 3 minutes. And it reminds me to start with a joke. So a man goes to his rabbi, says, "Rabbi, I'm so upset. My son, who I raised in the Jewish tradition, grew up, left home, converted to Christianity." The rabbi says, "Funny, you should mention it. I too have a son who, when he grew up, left home." He said, "Rabbi, what did you do?" Rabbi said, "I prayed to the Lord to explain to me how this made sense. And the guy said, Rabbi, did the Lord answer your prayers? Yes, the Lord came to me, and after I was done explaining what happened to my son, he looked me straight in the eye in all his fiery glory and said, funny you should mention it. I too have a son who... I think that the point is that we all know someone. Everybody in this room knows somebody, but this now we understand MS is a disease that's on the rise. So the good news is that we've got lots of treatment, but it is something that affects everybody's life clearly here, but affects everybody's life in a very meaningful way. It's not an illness that you don't know about or don't hear about, but it is misunderstood. And one of the misunderstandings that people have about MS is that a lot of times people think, well, once you get MS and your life is going to be irrevocably changed for the worse. And I think Nancy exemplifies how you can take MS and a diagnosis like MS, and although Nancy has MS, MS does not have Nancy, and she's demonstrated what she can do to really change everybody's life in a meaningful way, and research across the country. So it's not inevitable that one will have one's life changed for the worse. So the three messages I just want people to know is that MS does, however, for 50% of people who get it across their lifetime, cause a clinical syndrome called depression, where they have changes in their sleep and appetite and energy. Their get up and go has gotten up and gone. It's a clinical syndrome. It has devastating consequences. Suicide turns out to be the third leading cause of death in MS across the lifespan. By the way, the country is currently in an epidemic of suicide. You might have heard on the news recently, suicide rates are up 30% in this country. It's now the second leading cause of death for people 25 to 45, and it's the third leading cause of death for our children. So this is important, no more important than in MS. It's also important to know that MS, the number one correlate of quality of life is depression. Now, the second thing, though, that you must know is that depression is caused by MS. It's not a personal weakness. It's not, gee, you'd be depressed too. It's actually from the immune system causing activation, attacking the brain and spinal cord and releasing all these chemical messengers and causing a clinical depression in those people who have clinical depression, which is 50% of people. The third and most important thing to know is that it's treatable. And it's probably the most treatable, debilitating aspect of MS. So a lot of times people are, laying down in their bed and they can't get up and can't go to work and can't do those things. And a lot of times it's the depression that's really causing the worst aspects of MS. And the part about the treatment that you really must know is that now we're understanding more and more that not only is treatment of the depression and MS important, but it turns out treating the depression and MS, we're finding more and more evidence that it improves the MS itself. So there are studies that have shown that many of the drugs we use to treat depression actually also end up helping the MS and quieting the immune system down and leading to fewer attacks. And chronic stress, which comes with depression, is not good. So the good news is that it's not inevitable. If you have it, it's not your fault. It's from the MS exacerbation. It's not a weakness, but that it's treatable. And recognizing the importance of treatment is key in sort of making sure that you can do everything you can do and be able to make this not a sentence of your life is going to be changed for the worse, but finding a purpose in your life, finding a way to go on. So that's pretty much everything in 3 minutes. So thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Kaplan.
Can you talk about your website for that more in depth, how people...
Oh, wow. So Nancy's giving a plug. I should say I have a complete conflict of interest. She's talking about my baby, not my daughter, who's actually here with me, but my baby from an intellectual standpoint, which is one of the things we do with people who come into the clinic. We say, look, you're depressed. I want you to start exercising. I want you to, do X, Y, and Z, come back and see me in a month. And we say, in a month, how's your mood now compared to how you were a month ago? And I don't know about you, I can't remember what I had for dinner 3 days ago. I remember last night, but I don't remember 3 days ago. So it's impossible to do that. So what we started at Hopkins was this thing called mood247.com. That's literally the website, MOOD247.com, no hyphens or anything. And if you sign up there, you can send a text to your cell phone because, of course, everybody nowadays, this is my brain right here, but everybody has one of these phones of some kind. It's not a smartphone app or anything like that. It just sends, you sign up online, it sends a text to your phone daily. You can follow your mood, you can add notes to what's going on, so it's an electronic diary, and you can share it with your care providers and family members as well. So thanks for letting me plug that, Nancy.
Thank you, Dr. Kaplan. We will be open to questions after everybody has spoken.